Could the Toronto Maple Leafs be on the verge of a blockbuster move that could reshape their entire playoff strategy? Rumors are heating up around the Leafs' interest in veteran forward Jonathan Marchessault, and if this deal goes through, it could change everything. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a Leafs fan or just love keeping up with NHL trade buzz, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for more hockey content, and turn on the bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's get into today's story, and trust me, it's a big one. Jonathan Marchessault, a name that's become synonymous with high-impact scoring, clutch playoff performances, and veteran leadership. At 34 years old, he's not just keeping pace, he's still producing elite numbers. In the 2023-24 season, he scored an impressive 42 goals for the Vegas Golden Knights, proving he's still got the firepower to shift the outcome of a game. Not only that, he was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner in 2023, awarded to the most valuable player of the playoffs, as Vegas captured their first-ever Stanley Cup. Marchessault was electric during that run. Aggressive on the forecheck, lethal on the power play, and always showing up in the moments that mattered most. That kind of pedigree is exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs have been missing in their repeated playoff struggles. Now, fast forward to today, Marchessault is with the Nashville Predators, who signed him just last summer in a bold free agent sweep that also brought in Steven Stamkos and Brady Shea. But here's the twist: rumor has it Nashville might already be looking to move Marchessault. That's right, after just one season, the Predators could be shopping the veteran winger. Why? Well, it all comes down to cap space and long-term planning. Marchessault has 4 years left on his contract, with a cap hit of $5.5 million per season. That's a significant chunk of payroll for a team that's looking to retool around younger talent. According to insider Frank Saravalli, Marchessault ranks 5th on the NHL's trade target list. That's not a rumor to ignore, that's serious smoke. And who's being linked to him now? You guessed it, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now let's break this down from the Leafs' perspective. First, the fit. Toronto has elite top-end talent with Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, if he stays, William Nylander, and John Tavares. But what they've often lacked in the playoffs is that gritty, proven, playoff-savvy winger who can finish under pressure and battle in the dirty areas. Marchessault checks every single one of those boxes. He wouldn't need to carry the offense, he'd supplement it. He could fit seamlessly on a second line or even be rotated into the top unit during special teams. His presence could free up space for the Stars while adding another layer of depth that Toronto has struggled to find. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This potential deal does come with challenges. The biggest hurdle: what the Leafs can offer in return. Toronto doesn't have a rich pool of top prospects at the moment, and their draft pick cupboard isn't exactly overflowing either. That could make it difficult to entice Nashville into making the deal. The Predators are reportedly open to accepting a draft pick and a young prospect if it means they can clear most of Marchessault's cap hit. However, that likely means Nashville would want Toronto to take on the majority, if not all, of that $5.5 million salary. Now, is that feasible? With the cap projected to rise slightly, and if the Leafs can move out a contract, perhaps someone like Kalle Jarnkrok or another depth piece, it becomes more realistic. But again, it depends on how much Nashville is willing to retain and whether other teams step in with better offers. And let's not forget, this also depends on whether Marchessault wants to come to Toronto. He has a modified no-trade clause, which could complicate negotiations. Still, Toronto remains one of the most attractive destinations in the league, especially for a veteran looking for one more deep playoff run. So what's the verdict? From a hockey standpoint, this move makes sense. Marchessault would bring exactly the kind of battle-tested leadership and scoring touch that the Leafs need to get over the hump. From a financial and trade asset perspective, it's tricky, but not impossible. Brad Treliving, the Leafs general manager, has shown a willingness to be aggressive. If he believes Marchessault is the final piece to this team's championship puzzle, don't be surprised if we see some bold moves in the coming weeks. Until then, we'll be watching closely. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments. Should the Leafs go all in for Jonathan Marchessault? Or is the price too steep? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more Toronto Maple Leafs news and NHL trade breakdowns. 4 years now, the Leafs have built their identity around a high-octane offense and superstar firepower. But year after year, they've fallen short when it matters most, the playoffs. Whether it's been a lack of depth, inconsistent goaltending, or simply being outmuscled by grittier teams, the narrative has been painfully consistent. Bringing in a player like Jonathan Marchessault would signal a shift in mindset, a willingness to lean into playoff experience, two-way responsibility, and emotional leadership. Marchessault is known not only for his scoring, but for his fire. He holds teammates accountable, he pushes the pace, and he has a knack for rising to the occasion when the pressure is at its peak. And let's be honest, the Leafs haven't had enough of that. They've had skill, yes. They've had speed. But playoff success often hinges on players like Marchessault, players who can drag a team into the fight and will momentum back in their favor. Now, what about fan reaction? It's been mixed, as expected. Some Leafs fans are absolutely thrilled by the possibility. Social media has lit up with excitement over the idea of Marchessault wearing the blue and white. After all, how often does a former Conn Smythe winner, still playing at a high level, become available for trade? But others are cautious. Some worry about the age factor. Marchessault is 34, and with 4 years left on his deal, there's a risk of decline. Others point to the Leafs' already tight cap situation and question whether they can afford another mid-30s forward without mortgaging too much of their future. There's also debate about how much the Leafs should give up for a player like this. Is a second-round pick and a mid-tier prospect too much? Not enough. Should Toronto hold out for younger, more controllable assets instead? Meanwhile, the media is watching closely. Insiders like Frank Saravalli and Chris Johnston have noted that while the Leafs are interested, there's still a long way to go before a deal materializes. They're not the only team sniffing around, either. Marchessault's reputation and recent production have drawn the attention of multiple contenders, including, reportedly, the Carolina Hurricanes and the Colorado Avalanche. So, if the Leafs are serious, they'll need to move quickly. But that leads to one final, important question. Does this deal actually help Toronto break their curse? It's a fair question. One player isn't going to fix everything. But if Marchessault comes in and becomes a catalyst, a driver of pace, intensity, and accountability, then yes, this could be the kind of subtle yet significant addition that pushes Toronto past the first round and deep into the postseason. It's about more than stats. It's about culture, identity, the kind of character you need when the game's on the line. And that's where Marchessault shines brightest. So, whether this trade happens or not, one thing is clear, the Leafs aren't standing still. They're active, aggressive, and fully aware that the clock is ticking on this current core. Moves are coming, and Marchessault might just be the first domino to fall. Thanks again for watching. If you made it this far, drop a Go Leafs Go in the comments to let us know your ride or die. Make sure you're subscribed, because this offseason is already heating up and we'll be bringing you all the latest trade rumors, roster moves, and Leafs analysis as it happens. Until next time, stay sharp, stay passionate, and as always, bleed blue. So, to wrap it all up, the Toronto Maple Leafs find themselves at a critical crossroads. They've got the talent, they've got the fan base, and they've got the hunger. But what they've been missing is that final, fearless piece.